Hi there, I just wanted to show you a way to fix small areas of plywood that have deteriorated due to a leak, and you have kind of an area that you need to repair, but you don't need to actually put in a whole new board. You can use wood epoxy, looks like this, to fill those areas and make them good as new. Okay, so this is the area where there had been a leak. I had found that this metal piece that's like a support next to the door, behind here, the rivets behind here were leaking, and it was running down, and then it was coming down underneath all this, and then down here it had rotted out this wood here. So I have an area you can kind of see. I'm kind of, what I do is I look to see what's still good. So this is soft. Here I get to good wood. You can kind of hear the difference. So it looks like right here, it's kind of it's about there is the part where this side is going to need to be repaired. So instead of cutting this out and having to screw down new plywood, I use wood epoxy, which is like this, Wood Restore Premium Epoxy Putty, JB Weld brand. This stuff is incredible. My dad told me about this a long time ago, and he's used it to repair all kinds of windowsills and wood around doors. It works indoors, outdoors. It's basically making areas that used to have wood into sort of a plastic wood sort of thing. So it ends up drying super hard. It's able to be sanded, and then you can just basically mold it like Play-Doh or something, and I'll show that in a little bit here, but it's a two-part epoxy. It looks intimidating. It's really not. Okay, so my first goal is to clean out everything that is rotted. So I'm going to start that process by just basically breaking away all of the bad. And you can see that here the fiberglass goes over the top of this piece of plywood. That's not a problem because I'm going to shove the new epoxy under that. And I'll show you that in a minute. But so I'm going to come back in just a minute after I've removed all this loose material. Okay, so I've cleaned this area out. You can see I'm down to solid wood here. But, and I've cleaned out all under here with just, all I used was a heavy duty screwdriver. Kind of knocked it all out. Now I'm down to, I can feel it's solid wood. There's a few little flakes, but that's not going to matter. Now I'm actually seeing through to the ground down here, which looks a little scary, but that's no problem. So I have a piece of cardboard that I'm pushing up from below. I have a PVC pipe underneath there that I'm using to kind of push it up, but I didn't get it in the right position. So I need to go down there and move it over so that this cardboard is being pushed up on the bottom. So I have a backing for the putty that I'm going to use to fill this. I'm going to do that. Okay, so the next step that I do is put on some of this wood hardener. This is from Minwax, and this will just help harden up the wood that is here. Even if it is a little bit rotted or a little bit peeling away, it will just make sure that you have a good hard base for your new epoxy to cling to. So I just poured a little bit into like a little recycling container, something I can throw away. And I just put it on some kind of brush that you can just throw away because this is going to be ruined. And you just sort of put it on the exposed wood all the way around. And it does kind of eat away at these foam brushes, so it kind of deteriorates the brush, but who cares? You're going to throw it away. But this is easy to do when I have two hands, so I'm going to turn this off, but you get the idea. I'm going all the way around the outside, and I'm going to do it right here on this part too, just to harden up that leftover wood. Okay, now comes the fun part. If you can mix two different colors of Play-Doh, you can do this. So you just want to have roughly equal sized chunks of each of these, and it's really about the texture of Play-Doh. And you're just going to mush, 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 mush. And you want to do this until it's completely homogeneous, one color. You don't see any streaking or anything like that. So I'm going to put this video camera down and work on this, and I'll be back. Okay, so I have my putty all mixed up. It's ready to go. And it's better to mix too little than too much, because once you've mixed it up, it hardens I don't know, like 30 minutes. It's really hard. So it will stay pretty much indefinitely when it's separated, and it'll stay soft as long as you keep the lid on. So I would just make too little and then I just add to it. But my main goal here is to get it way underneath, to fill that void where my plywood was underneath there. So that's what I'm doing with this hunk. And I might even use my screwdriver to kind of push it up under there. That's doing pretty good. I can feel that I'm filling that void. But I have this cardboard backing down here being pushed up from below. That's my stopper. And this stuff is really moldable, so I can make a pretty flat edge on it if I want. So like I can actually recreate the edges of this board pretty well. But I'm going to do this portion and make kind of an edge here. And then I will mix up some more. There we go. And then I'm gonna do the rest. So this is what it looks like so far. And I'm not too worried if this is flat. This will be inside of this storage hold in the bench that goes up above. But if I wanted to be perfect about it, I could just sand this after the fact. It's sandable. And so you can just treat it like wood after it's set up. I'm gonna go ahead and start the second one. You do want to wear gloves. They talk about you shouldn't get this on your skin. Okay, so I just finished filling this. The one thing I did was really tried to make good contact along the edges so that it can make a good bond. But I'm pretty happy with that, and it's fairly flat. I don't think I will even have to sand because, like I said, this will be underneath there. This looks bad, but this is actually solid here, and it is dry now. And actually this is fiberglass board. So I'm gonna leave that because there's no reason to mess with anything that's solid. I can show you where I repaired something in the past with this and kind of what it looks like. All right, over here, there's another spot where there'd been some water. This looks like rot. It's not, it's just, actually I think that dark color came from when I poured the hardener on there. But as you can hear, this makes a very hard wood-like material. It's not going anywhere. It's probably harder than the board around it. Actually, you can hear the difference. So I highly recommend wood epoxy.